Frankly, it's a war. It's a war on killers. It's a war on terrorists. These are not narco-traffickers. These are narco-terrorists who terrorize the countries they operate in.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio in Ecuador today, where he's designating two gangs as foreign terrorist organizations and putting drug cartels on notice. After the United States says it took out a Tren de Aragua boat in international waters off of Venezuela this week, killing 11 people on board. Rubio says that stopping the boats doesn't work. You have to, quote, blow them up. Let's bring in retired four-star General Jack Keane, Fox News' senior strategic analyst, former Army Vice Chief of Staff, and chairman of the Institute for the Study of War. General, always great to have you with us. Thank you very much for joining us today. If I may, General, I want to start with this graphic, which shows the naval assets in the Caribbean region right now. And it's quite an impressive U.S. operation that is off the coast of Venezuela. Your thoughts on this operation, what we've learned about it, and what we think happens next?
Yeah, well, certainly it is a formidable task force and something we really haven't done on any scale like that in the past. And I really applaud the administration for getting after this. You know, so our audience understands. I mean, strategically, the issue is we have the demand is largely in the United States, and the supply is coming largely from Latin American countries and South American countries. And this is a focus on Venezuela, where the Maduro regime, President Maduro, draws significant revenue from this narco-trafficking that's taking place. And they move this narco drugs, in this case fentanyl and other drugs like it, in three ways. They move it overland in trucks that come right through our port of entry, and they're being smuggled successfully through there. Some of it gets detected, a lot of it doesn't get detected. They move it by air into the United States, and obviously that's being done covertly, and they move it by sea, which is being done covertly as well. And this is an attempt to stop that seaborne traffic and just completely shut it down. And we've tried all the intercepts in the past. Certainly they work. We take what they have away from them and we arrest them. But this is sending a message that this kind of behavior of killing Americans, and you're the means to do that, we're not going to tolerate it, and your life is at risk. And that message is loud and clear. What we have to do is be consistent. This is not a one-off. We have to persist in interrupting them and using kinetic means to do this, and continue to do the other means as well. And listen, Martha, we got to work on our own population here, because we create the demand, and this is parents' responsibility, coaches, teachers, and the youngsters themselves, and the at-risk behavior that they have, and taking drugs that they think are safe, and they're loaded up with something that can kill them.
Yeah, indeed. This is the Venezuelan opposition leader, because Maduro is saying, you know, I'm the target here. The United States wants regime change in Venezuela. I want to play this and then get your reaction to that, General.
Maduro has turned Venezuela into the biggest threat to the national security of the U.S. and the stability of the region. Once Maduro goes, the next to come is the Cuban regime and the Nicaraguan regime. And for the first time in history, we will have the Americas free of communism and dictatorship. This is huge.
Your reaction to Maduro's, saying that this is all about him and regime change, and to the opposition leader there, General.
Yeah, well, certainly that's partly true. Let's pin the rose. Mr. Maduro is a thug and a killer, and he's conducted one fraudulent election after another, and he's aligned with those communist states that she just mentioned, and guess who else? Our other adversaries in the world, Iran, Russia, and China, to name three. So yes, he's a bad actor. He's got a $50 million bounty on his head. I don't have a frame of reference for when's the last time the United States has done that with a head of state. But all of this is appropriate. His isolation is crucial. And I think these actions that we're taking are decisive. And as I said, let's be consistent about it.
Sends a strong message. General, thank you, as always. Great to see you, sir.
The deadly U.S. strike in the Caribbean last week is being cast by experts as the latest move in a broader campaign to dismantle Iran and Hezbollah's growing narco empire in Venezuela. U.S. officials say Tren de Aragua works closely with the Cartel of the Suns, a network of Venezuelan military elites long accused of moving cocaine in collaboration with Hezbollah. State Department spokesperson Anna Kelly told Fox News Digital, President Trump has taken numerous actions to curtail Iran's terrorist proxies like Hezbollah, such as sanctioning senior officials and financial facilitators. The president has proven that he will hold any terrorist group accountable that threatens the national security of our country by smuggling narcotics intended to kill Americans. Brian Townsend, a retired DEA special agent, told Fox News Digital, this was a decisive blow against narco-terrorists, and said Hezbollah's role is rarely visible but essential. They don't get their hands dirty. Instead, they launder and provide networks to help cartels send money through the Middle East. Simply, they take a cut from the drug trade, which then funds their operations in the Middle East. Townsend added that Hezbollah has become a main finance and money launderer for narco-terrorism groups like Tren de Aragua, ensuring that when cocaine moves, Hezbollah-linked facilitators are often processing at least part of the proceeds. Danny Citrinowicz, a senior fellow at Israel's Institute for National Security Studies, said Hezbollah's reach depends heavily on the region's Lebanese diaspora. Most of the Shia diaspora, at least in Central and South America, is Lebanese, he told Fox News Digital. Hezbollah is the connector between the diaspora and Iran. Citrinowicz said the group uses family ties, language, and community institutions to cement its influence across Latin America. They appoint imams, fund religious centers, and control educational programs. Through these networks, Hezbollah can interact with local cartels, sell drugs, and channel the profits back to Lebanon through elaborate schemes. He said this role as a connector makes Hezbollah indispensable to Iran's strategy in the Western Hemisphere. The connection starts and ends with enmity towards the West in general, specifically to the United States, he said. As long as Maduro is there, the Iranians will be there. But if Maduro goes, Iran will lose the most important stronghold of its activity in Latin America. Townsend stated the partnership works for both sides. Iran's partnership with Maduro enables Hezbollah to operate in Venezuela. Iran gets to safely operate through Hezbollah in the West without prosecution, and Maduro and his officials get paid well. Ultimately, Iran uses and exploits Maduro. Maduro doesn't care. He and his friends benefit financially. Both experts pointed to state complicity as the key enabler. Under Maduro and Chavez, Venezuela has become a major transshipment hub for Colombian cocaine, Townsend said. There have been several indictments in the U.S. and Treasury OFAC designations that tie senior government officials directly to the use of state infrastructure, ports, air bases, even military convoys, to move massive shipments of cocaine. Cartel of the Suns, high-ranking military officers, run and protects these shipments. Who launders all of this drug money? Hezbollah. Citrinowicz emphasized Iran's investment in Venezuelan power structures. The enhancement is illustrated by several aspects. First and foremost, the military cooperation, especially Iranian factories building UAVs for the Venezuelan army, and constant Quds Force flights from Iran through Africa toward Venezuela, he said. Iran is also teaching Venezuela how to bypass sanctions and has invested billions into the economy. Experts say Washington's best leverage lies in choking the finances. We need to aggressively target and choke these financial networks, Townsend said. The priority is to attack the financial and logistical networks, indict everyone we can, and pressure Maduro. If we can cut off the financial arteries, the cocaine won't be as profitable. Citrinowicz agreed that the strike fits into a broader effort. By weakening Maduro, the U.S. weakens the Iranian presence in Latin America and weakens Iran's ability to threaten U.S. soil, he said. The best way to weaken Venezuela is also to aim against the Iranian presence over there. For Washington, experts say Hezbollah's narcotics empire in Venezuela is no longer just a regional problem. It is increasingly being treated as a direct threat to America's security at home.